Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy BrandoAKAMiracle. Quick update for you guys. We're going to be hosting a Miracle Cup on March 10th, 12 p.m. Central Time. All you got to do to enter is join the Discord and DM me your deck list. I will enter you in and just be there on time, 12 p.m. Central. Hope to see you guys there. Alright guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be using Stardust once again. We special summon the Fenrir right away. Our opponent baits out the Imperm. I chained the Max E because I have Junk Synchron in hand. I feel like that's the only way I get outspeeder this game, and he used Imperm, so I'm not really worried. One hand trap is kind of what I try to bait out and go for my plays. There is the Junk Speeder. Junk Speeder effect, we're going to bring out 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 effect, we're going to bring out the Stardust Illumination. Pretty common plays with my Stardust deck, but first we're going to go into our boy Baron Defear just in case, because now we're under that Nibiru range where I just want to be safe. Jet plus Junk Speeder is going to bring out Stardust Charge Warrior. We're going to gain a card from that. Ash Blossom, very good. Adds interaction for our turn 2 plays. Now Excel's going to come through, bring out Assault, get us our another 10, but we're going to use Stardust Illumination first to get that trail out to get our 8 ready to go here. We're going to go into our boy Psyframe Lord Omega. Omega effect we're going to use right away. It looks like our opponent is playing some kind of forbidden, or he's playing Forbidden Droplet. That's what we take away. And next up we're going to use Bestial Dispatter to bring back the Psyframe Lord Omega to continue our plays by taking out another card out of his hand, making him have only 2 cards in his opening hand. Looks like my opponent's on Eltlage. We use Jet to bring out Stardust. And we also put Revolution in the graveyard right there. So now we're going to be able to use Revolution as well to get out our hot red. Our opponent chooses Surrender there. I'm surprised they didn't do it any sooner. Alright. This is an excellent hand showing the super heavy part of the engine. Honestly, I wish I would have got something a little bit more tuner-wise. But On Your Mark, Get Set, Duel is the perfect card for that. We drew exactly what we needed. The Blue Eyes comes out, gets us another card. Soul Piercer isn't a bad card to have in the hand either. Now we draw for turn. Another Wakashi isn't bad. I actually misplayed tremendously here. I didn't play that On Your Mark, Get Set, Duel right away, causing my special summon to not be available. Looks like my opponent also has the Ash to not bring out my Soul Piercer, but that's not a big deal for me because I do have the Soul Piercer in hand. We're going to use Soul Piercer plus our boy Wakashi to bring out Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. And we're going to use Synchro Stardust Dragon's effect to bring the motorbike to the field, as well as use Wakashi and Soul Pierce's effect just to get more board presence. Now I'm honestly still not worried about everything because we're going to be able to use the super heavy pendulum summon to really carry the engine, even though I misplayed. That's why I really wanted to show this clip, because we're not relying on the synchro engine for once. We're relying on the sub engine, which is the super heavy. Now we're going to pendulum summon 3 here because we opened up that driver in hand as well. I was playtesting the driver for a bit. We're going to use that to get another tuner on field. We're going to use those 2 to bring out our boy Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. Now we're going to also use this guy to special summon himself to go into the 12 super heavy samurai brave. Just so we have another monster. It doesn't look like my opponent has that threatening of a board, so I'm still not worried. We use Scarlet to clear the rest, and then my opponent surrenders. So kind of using that super heavy engine to carry instead of the Synchron, which is interesting. Alright, this is actually the best hand we could ask for. Super heavy samurai plus On Your Mark. We're going to get another Revolution to hand just to not really expose that we already had it in hand, and it baits out an Ash Blossom. That's why I do like to use it first. Brave Masano is going to bring out the super heavy combo, getting out the Soul Piercer as our normal. We're going to synchro into our 8 here, which is going to be Excel because we did open up that motorbike. Now we're really in a good spot here because motorbike's also going to have motorbike's going to be able to bring out the Baron as well as Soul Piercer, as well as Wakashi is going to bring out a monster to pendulum summon. So we're really in a good spot. I have really no complaints about the move as of right now. We're going to use our boy Baron Defear, and we're going to use this Pendulum Scale 2, or Pendulum Summon 2 monsters or one monster, the Soul Piercer and the Scales. We're going to use the first one plus the Soul Piercer to go into the Ancient Fairy Dragon. Now we need to go into the Ancient Fairy Dragon first. Basically, we just need to get that Soul Piercer, or we need to get that Revolution in the graveyard to trigger. We have another Revolution, so I might as well use it to go into another 10, which I go into Bestial Dispatcher. We're honestly doing our combos without Speeder, which is very interesting, but nonetheless, we're going to use Speeder now to get out our rest of our tuners. I feel like the best ones to bring out are 1, 2, and 4. So we can activate that Stardust Illumination as well as get the draw and the Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon if it's available. Or actually not the Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, just because we already used that to get out the Baron Defear we already have in the field. So we're going to go 8 here. We're going to choose to bring out our boy Psyframe Lord Omega right away. Psyframe is going to be able to take one out of the opponent's hand. Looks like my opponent is on some kind of normal deck, which is interesting. You don't see those very often anymore. Psyframe is also going to take out an equip spell for our opponent. Now, with the amount of gas we do have, I don't feel bad at all for playing this certain way. I'm going to turn these into a 5, destroy the Stardust. Honestly, Illumination was wasted there. I thought I was still playing Herald. But Stardust Trail plus this is going to bring out our 8. We still have our Jet Synchron in the grave, so we'll be able to get our last negate with the Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend plus the Jet. So there's our 9. So we took 2 cards out of our opponent's hand, we assembled 3 negates, and we still have a really good Pendulum board for our next turn to bring out a bunch of monsters. I say it's a pretty even game. Looks like our opponent was kind of new to the game because he was using Axe of Fools to attack a 3000. Didn't do the math right. It happens. And that will be the end of his turn, really, because it's now my turn. We get him his 2 cards back, but we have lethal on board. I'm going to go right to battle as soon as I can. Not waste any time. Just get it over with. And that is the game. Honestly, this deck is still crazy, whatever build you want to use it in. All right, another hand we opened up really well. On your mark, we're going to get a card. We bait out that Ash Blossom. That's why I use it first, even if we do have the Revolution Synchron in hand, or if we needed some other tuner to get the engine going. We're going to use Brave Wakashi to bring out the Scale 1 Soul Piercer. We're going to go into our 8 here, and we're going to use the Debelting Mensing Mantis. It gets us an extra summon, and if we don't want to use our Excel right away, which I don't mind, it's kind of an interesting plus. I mean, it doesn't play the Nibiru like I would want, but it gets us the motorbike we wanted, and it gets us that Mantis in the grave for an extra summon at any time. I'm not complaining. I'm going to go into Pendulum Summoning. I'm just going to Pendulum Summon 1. I'm going to use that motorbike to bring out our boy, bring out Ancient Fairy Dragon, and I'm also going to use that motorbike to bring out the Baron in the combo. Just because if I have access to the motorbike, either way, it gets us to the same point. And with me having the Reborn Tengu in hand, I wasn't worried about a 4. So I kind of did do it differently, but Junk Speeder is still on the field with a negate protecting it. The Tengu procs, but I honestly just cover the field, and if you cover the field, you don't have to bring out the Tengu. But if you do want to bring out the Tengu, it is pretty interesting. Stardust Illumination, we're going to go into our combos going into 6 and then 8, and then triggering the Stardust Illumination. So we're in a good spot right now. I really don't think there's anything that my opponent can do to really throw me off. Even if you did activate Nib at this point, I would say it would be game over. Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, we're going to bring out the Assault, and then we're going to use the Illumination to bring out the Trail. Now we're going to go into an 8 here. It doesn't matter which 8 you go into, but I decide to go into Psyframe Lord Omega as soon as possible, just to take out a card out of my opponent's hand. And it's a good one. He's playing Vanquish Souls. I mean, Heavy Burger is a really good card for the deck, so honestly, taking it out of its hand isn't a bad thing at all. Using that Dispatcher, we're going to take the second card out of his hand, and it's a big hit. If you can take 2 cards out of an opponent's opening hand, We're going to use Mantis as the tribute fodder to bring back the Stardust Synchro. My opponent chooses surrender. We took out the Caesar Valius out of his hand. That's GG's, I understand. All right. This is a really good opening hand. On your mark, plus motorbike. Nothing I can ask for differently with the deck, especially with a Reborn Tengu and a Fenrir in hand, giving us an extra 7 just to throw on the field. We'll probably use it as synchro fodder, but if we didn't, it's still there, and that's exactly what I do. I use it for the Baron. If I can get the Baron out with 1 or 2 summons, that's what I'm going to do, because I want to get under Nib as soon as I possibly can. Now, Wakashi's going to bring out Big Benkai. I really don't want to... I use my normal summon on Revolution, but with these two, I can bring out another monster for pretty low cost. So I'm going to leave Wakashi in the field, but now I have Speeder on the field pretty smoothly, even though I use my Revolution normal summon. Now we're going to bring 1, 2, and 5. An interesting part of the combo, but with Stardust Synchron being in my hand, Wheel Synchron will be able to let me normal summon it. That was my thinking. Now we're going to have Assault go into a 6 with Excel. I'm going to normal summon the Stardust Synchron in hand to get that illumination. Now I just have to figure out a little bit of combo maneuvering, and I choose to destroy the Wheel Synchron because I wanted to use it as a normal summon. Now the combo was a little bit different than my normal plays, but it honestly is playing tremendously in my favor. Now we have the Bestial, we have the Baron, we have an extra 4 on the field, which is true. Which is tribute fodder for now, but Omega comes out. We're going to use Omega effect to get rid of that Shiranui. We're going to bring it right back. Looks like my opponent is playing zombies. An interesting deck. Omega hits again. We're going to take out a trap. It looks like he was on Eldritch zombies. Now Stardust Synchron is going to tribute the Wakashi to bring out the Trail. Now that equals an 8. We're going to bring out Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. Now the reason why we have to use Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend is because you need a dark dragon to go into Hot Red. Now I think Hot Red is the best option, even though it's a little bit harder to get out. Once you figure it out, it's worth it. It's a negate of any face-up card. So we have a Monster Negate, an Omni Negate, and technically another Omni Negate, but in Perm style. My opponent is going to use his Shiranui effect. We're going to use the first negate, and he's going to choose to surrender. Leaving him playing around those 2 other negates wasn't an option, I guess. All right, another good hand. Junk Converter plus Motorbike does something. My opponent has the Ash, which is unfortunate, but with Junk Converter and Reborn Tengu, we still have a really good play here. So I'm not exactly worried. We're going to have to use the Ash Blossom, which is unfortunate, but Revolution Synchron is going to make it worth it in the end, because we're going to use those 2 to go into our Ancient Pixie Dragon. Now my opponent looks like he doesn't understand Reborn Tengu because he instantly triggers that Imperm. That would have saved him from the Junk Speeder, but live and learn. He's going to use it on the Ancient Pixie Dragon. He'll learn from that play today, because Reborn Tengu is the 4 we needed plus the 1 in our grave with Revolution. Now we're technically not playing around any outs at this board, but Junk Speeder comes out, Reborn Tengu triggers. Doesn't gonna be activated on the field though, but we're gonna special summon 1, 2, 4, and 5. Really a big plus for us. We're gonna get that illumination as well. We're really in a good spot here. We go through our normal combo of 6 into 8 and then into Stardust Illumination. We draw into the Junk Synchron, which is a good play for our next turn because Converter is in there. Honestly, I'm not complaining about that. If this did go to a game 3, Converter is a big play. Actually, it did go to a turn 3, but I kind of misplayed a bit. You will see soon, because I wanted to show off the Crimson Dragon part of the lock. Now, Trail plus these 2 are going to get us out our Stardust Dragon, which is going to get us tribute fodder for our Stardust Synchron. Sorry for mispronouncing. We're going to bring both of those out. We're going to go into our 12, which is Superheavy Samurai Brave. Now, this is funny. We throw this into the archetype just because it's another boss monster for the fusion of the archetypes we're fusing together. We also get out a Baron, which is nice, but you will see why my misplay happened. And my turn, I see soon that called by triggers, and it kind of spooks me. I'm wondering, why is he doing this? But I fall for the bait to mistime my 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 Archfiend Calamity lock, because since I tribute that Brave Masano, the effect has to resolve while Calamity's on the field, and it causes me to miss timing, unfortunately. Still have one negate, and looks like my opponent is on some kind of Assault engine. It looks like he is playing Assault plus Zephyros the Elite, which means he's playing Blackwings. It's an interesting move, but I do have the Baron negate still, so I'm not exactly worried giving him one card in hand. My only worry is that I just missed the Calamity lock, which I upset. But if I did resolve the Calamity lock, this game would have been over. So that's why I wanted to show this clip. Now, he also had the evenly match in hand, which is super surprising. But we still have the Brave Masano. We have the booster in hand, but they can't be activated because we now have Spell and Traps in the grave. We also have Junk Synchron here. We have Wheel. I'm just trying to get as much activations as possible. We're going to hit him for 5,300, leaving him with 2,000 life points. Really nothing he can do. It is a top deck situation. If he would have top decked one of the big Blackwings, then this would have been a different story, but we still clutch out the win. Alright guys, so this is my Superheavy Samurai Synchrons deck. Honestly, the deck is very cool. I threw in some different experimentation engines. Shout out to Converge Gaming for showing these off in his recent video of the deck. I'll make sure that if you guys know me, you know Converge, we make similar content, so I wanted to shout him out for the Ancient Pixie and the Diaboltis, the Menacing Mantis cards. But other than that, this is what I was playing. Honestly, I still feel, in my opinion, that the Adventure engine is a stronger substitute engine for this. The only reason is there's a lot of bricking aspects with it, especially when it comes to Superheavy Samurai, Prodigy, Wakashi, and all of them. They do contradict each other sometimes, and you're not giving yourself access to tuning, a crazy spell card that's not once returned to search any tuner. You instead have to play On Your Mark, it's at Duel, which is a really good substitute, but honestly, I think tuning is worth more. But what does this deck do? It does the same thing as the Adventure engine. It goes into either a Psyframe Omega Lock with the ability to take 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, as well as have 3 negates on field, or you can go into Calamity Lock with the ability of Crimson Dragon and Super Samurai Brave. Your final board around that will probably be the 2 12s plus possibly 1 negate. It all depends how you play it. That's normally what comes around when you do it. Honestly, my best way of recommendations is, if you're not under Max C or anything, go for the Psyframe Omega Lock. But if your opponent tries to do Max C against you, you take the Max C challenge and you set up in a Calamity Lock against them, pretty much making those cards pretty much useless to their opponent. Most of the time they're going to try their best to play through it, but it's not going to be enough. My recommendations for this deck, I love the Reborn Tengu aspect. This card plus Revolution gets you a 7. Like, Ancient Fairy Dragon was a really cool add for that. You can also place Red Rose Moonlight Dragon is another one if you want some kind of interaction with the card. But honestly, it's super amazing that those two go together so well. And the Praying Mantis plus Diaboltis is another way to get your tribute fodder for your Stardust Trail and Stardust Synchron. Now, overall, this deck is super great still. I do recommend it to anybody that has the Superheavy engine, and it's not much added on if you don't have, you already have the Superheavy engine and you just want to throw the Synchrons in there. It is a really cool deck. You'll have a lot of fun with it. So that's my final recommendation for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. March 10th at 12 p.m. Central Time is going to be our tournament. Make sure you guys tune in. Join the Discord. We're going to have a ton of fun battles. No, not really a strict ban list, but enough to where you can see some really competitive decks. I can't wait to see you guys there. I will be competing myself, and many more will be doing it too. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys.